The show is many things. Subtle is not one of them. If you think Homelander is the hero of this show, I just don't know what to tell you besides like seek therapy.
Where we're going, we don't need roads.
When Martin Sheen did West Wing, he used to say that he would get messages from politicians saying like, "You guys are nailing it. You got this right." And James Gandolfini used to say that when he was doing Sopranos, he used to get letters from actual wise guys about how accurate it was. So I'm sort of curious, like, who do you guys hear from about The Boys that you're nailing it? And have you ever heard from any of the actors from the Marvel and DC movies and shows and gotten their thoughts on it?
No, I just hear from my parents saying, "What the fuck is wrong with you?"
I have not, because I'm sure they would all be immediately fired if they reached out to tell me how similar their lives were to the horror that we're putting on The Boys.
I'm yet to hear from Superman.
We were on Obama's list of shows.
The president of the United States.
One of our producers has a few friends in Congress, and they've told me secondhand that, you know, a lot of Congress people watch the show and you know, laugh about the politics of it.
But it says everything that the president, a politician said something, and then like the superhero world that we're, you know, satirizing is not maybe going to say as much.
No, I would think no.
No.
Yeah.
No one specifically who have played superheroes, and I actually don't recommend they do. I think it would be dangerous for their careers.
Whenever I saw that it was on President Obama's list, my mind went to 50 different scenes from this show, and I just thought, he's seen that.
He watched that.
Yeah,
I know.
I know. I was like,
Yeah.
What is the scene that you would have loved to have sat next to President Obama and watched him watch?
I want to watch Hero Orgasm with him, and I want to watch him talk about me.
Yeah.
Nom nom nom.
Also, any of the Homelander scenes, because he
Oh,
know,
yeah.
there's
He
so
probably-
much symbolism that goes
Yeah,
on.
I know.
Yeah, so
Yeah.
I would
So
love to
true. Very
just kind of
self-answer.
peek over and be like,
What's he thinking?
Yes.
I think the strangest thing for me is the feedback that people really like love Homelander. A lot of people.
When
really
you say love, like like he's a great character to watch, and the performance is fantastic.
No, I mean they just somehow glom onto the character in a way that I didn't expect would happen, which is it's a little strange to me. There's some that misinterpret the intention behind what we're trying to say.
The show is many things. Subtle is not one of them. If you think Homelander is the hero of this show, I just don't know what to tell you besides like seek therapy.
How do you watch this show and think that's the guy? That's
Listen,
who I
we're all
want.
collectively unwell.
Yeah. There have been fans that have said like, "You're my hero,
Oh.
Homelander," and I'm like,
But also like, but it's interesting. We're still surprised by that, right? I mean, look at who was like
You're my hero.
Should we
And
still be
Ant is
surprised
also
by
like,
that?
He's like, yes.
It's a
Yeah.
good reminder,
Yeah.
though. Like
He's fun to
Yeah.
watch. I'm not going to deny that. I love
Brilliant
it.
to
I love.
watch.
He's
He's a fan
palpable. He's
favorite. I love
fantastic.
him.
He's an
Yeah.
incredible actor. Like it's he does the character so well.
so brilliantly.
And you don't see this character like listen. You see him doing some incredibly heinous, horrific
Oh, no,
crimes.
he's- like,
to humanity, but at the same time, you also see these moments where it's just like
he's
So
human,
human.
but he's
something
a
like
yeah,
penetrates the arm or
Yeah.
something gets through and Anthony, whenever I'm in an interview with him and he talks about Homelander, he's like, look, he's the strongest person on the show, but he's
The
like the
weakest.
weakest.
Yes,
Yeah.
yes, yes.
But he's like the
And
weakest man. And it's so true and he
Yeah.
plays that so
That-
well.
Yeah, he really.
And
Yeah,
Great
he's so
actor.
he's
Brilliant,
so scared of he's so afraid of this weakness or to be perceived in that way at all. But like that insecurity just
yeah.
comes out
Yeah.
in these
Kripke and
these
Anthony like
monstrous
work
ways.
together on that role to create one of the most
Yes. So I
brilliant.
think that the character is brilliant, but like in the most flawed way.
I will say there has been an interesting response from like my peer group and certain actors that I really respect. My agent and all over that I was kind of like almost surprised that they like watched like all the episodes of the show that really love it. And for me, that was really rewarding to hear that, you know, just the compliments and stuff like that from like award-winning actors was really nice, to be honest.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I hear a lot from celebrities who I think really enjoy, because there's like a big part of the show that it's like also a very inside Hollywood vibe. It's like the weirdest workplace comedy ever. And they sort of laugh at like how accurate some of those backstage politics are.
This is the second season of The Boys. It has been released during a presidential election year, but this season and this year, everything just sort of feels different. What is the biggest difference in how season 2 felt during the last election compared to how season 4 feels right now?
More ominous to me.
More on the
Nose.
nose, I think. Yeah.
I think the world has changed significantly, and I think the nature of the political landscape in America has changed as well. And it's maybe a little. I think there's a finer point at the moment. There's a bit more of a razor's edge that, you know, there's a more, in my opinion, there's a more defined right and wrong way to go. A bit of a fork in the roads moment, much more than there was before.
It's a crazier time. And I think politics have gotten even more coarse, and things have gotten even more polarizing. So I think like the show has gotten more intense as the world has gotten more intense.
Yeah.
Yeah, just everything but more, which feels like every season of The Boys. I feel like whenever we go through anything, it's like everything but more.
Also, there's nothing like an impending moment happening and no one saying a word about it. Like, it feels like when you're watching stuff, it's great to escape, but what you resist persists. So, like, at least portray it on television via escape.
And this is the show to do it.
Yeah. So it feels good to like address the elephant in the room of this impending. I'm not gonna say doom, but like shit show. Thank you.
This is like writer's gold. We're in a very strange moment in history, and in terms of a show like ours that has the ability to poach from the real world, it's rich pickings.
And we knew, I mean, we were writing this in 21, 22, and it's about a 2-year process. So we knew we were landing right around the election year. Could we have predicted that like fucking Trump was going to be back? No. But we knew that an election storyline was going to be appropriate.
You know, I think the show's always dovetailed with cultural and political things that are going on. And I think Kripke always said, you know, it was like a dream of his to make a show, you know, that you can talk about all these real issues and real themes injected through the lens of a superhero show, which is kind of, you know, the best of both worlds. And they do it brilliantly, and they write it geniusly.
And yeah, we're just trying to reflect back, you know, in sort of our cracked mirror, sort of like what we see going on in the world.
Where we're going, we don't need roads.